Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to RWBY Vol6 Ch10. So yeah, last episode, damn. As I mentioned, one of the best episodes of the show, by far, and easily one of my favorites. So much emotion, so much character growth, so much display of the development these characters have already had. It was phenomenal. And I've seen it multiple other times now because of other people's reactions, and it just keeps getting better. But we are moving on to Chapter 10, and so I assume that they're about to start their plan to steal the airship. And it's going to be interesting to see where this goes, because I doubt it's going to go well. I doubt it's going to be easy, and I doubt it's going to be finished in this episode. I think that there's probably going to be more. It's probably going to reach a climax at the end of this one and be concluded in the next one. Now, whether or not they steal the airship successfully, I honestly have no clue. I honestly could not tell you if this is going to go well or not. But I am excited to find out. This volume, as I've said again and again, has been just leagues above all the others. This series is better each and every volume than it was before. It just keeps impressing and keeps improving every single time. And yeah, I can't wait to see how this volume ends. We know Tyrion and Watts are headed to Atlas. My mind blanked for a second there. We know that Emerald and Mercury, to a lesser extent, but especially Emerald, are questioning their allegiance to Salem. And we know that Oscar is back, and that he is just trying to do the best he can with whatever time he has left before he and Ozpin become one. Although, one thing about that, Oscar, and everyone else even as well, seems to think that when Oscar and Ozpin, when their minds do merge, that Oscar's just going to be gone. And that's not quite how I think it works. Like, isn't it just like they do become one, but it's like they're still there in a way. It's not like you stop existing altogether. Because in Jin's flashback and all, Ozpin had to learn to work with the other bodies and souls he was inhabiting. Even after, I assume, it kind of implied, even after that they had merged, they had to work together. Because if they were in opposition before they fully merged, I assume it wouldn't be like that harmonious of a combined soul. So it's like it's probably like Stevani or any fusion from Steven Universe. Stevani was just most on my mind, I guess, because of recent Steven Universe. I feel it's kind of like the Steven Universe fusions, where it's like, yes, they're one being now, but both of them are still there, and they can still have, like, there can still be like some conflicting feelings and stuff that could make things very hard on the combined like mental state, basically. And I don't think it could get to the point where they could actually straight up separate again. I don't think it could get to that, like in Steven Universe. But it could probably cause some like mental clouding, instability, and various other things like that. So I think that there probably is still that kind of separate identities in the merged mental state once that does happen. At least that's my theory, and there's nothing really confirmed one way or the other regarding that. But we're going to kind of see how this goes. I really hope Ozpin returns by the end of the volume. I think he needs to. Whether or not they trust Ozpin right now, our team needs him. Yes, they've been doing well on their own. Yes, Team RWBY and Juniper and all did well on their own without any adults leading them. That doesn't mean that they don't need Ozpin, though. Yes, they have a lot more information now, but in the end, they're still a lot blinder than they need to be in this situation. They need Ozpin. They need his intelligence. They need his knowledge of everything going on. And they need his forethought. Yes, he doesn't have a full plan. That is true. But he still has enough forethought to know what to do in the moment and how that will affect things. Getting the relics, making sure they're safe and all, that's important. But it's not going to end there. Team RWBY and all them, they don't have any plans after they secure the relics. They have nothing else to do. And I don't think they have enough forethought to really have any kind of plan after that at this point. That's all they know of what to do. They need Ozpin back. And I really think it should happen by the end of this volume. But beyond that, we also in the last episode saw who we assume is Pyrrha's mother. Now, I've seen people talking about it on Facebook groups and stuff, and there's some questions about who it could be. Some people are saying, oh, maybe it's actually Pyrrha come back as a spirit and kind of in disguise and stuff to kind of check in on Shauna. It's like, one, that sounds stupidly complex. Not that a complex thing like that couldn't happen in this show. It's just like, especially since the theory kind of hinged on the idea that the gods sent her back. The gods aren't involved in humanity anymore. They're not even around at all. So that couldn't happen. And I doubt she'd just be able to come back on her own. Also, Pyrrha would not hide her identity. I fully believe that she would not hide her identity. I think that's just a completely ludicrous idea. Pyrrha, she would not hide who she was, especially from Jean, who she loved. Now, I think that was either Pyrrha's mother or possibly her older sister. But I'm definitely leaning towards mother. It definitely seemed like she was a little older. I just think I do think she knows who Jean is. It's very likely that Pyrrha could have sent back a picture of them, of the entire team together and all. So it's very, very possible she knows what Jean looks like. And on top of that, it's just everything is hinting more towards mother than anything else in my eyes. But I'm wondering if she's going to... The point I'm trying to make with bringing this up again is I'm wondering if she's going to come back or if she's going to be an important character at all in the future. Because that's kind of a big deal to bring her in and then not even name her in the titles. Not even say in the credits, rather, not titles. In the credits, and not even say in the credits that she's Pyrrha's mom. Just say red-haired woman. When she's voiced by Jen Brown, and she looks exactly like an older Pyrrha, it's, I think, a little obvious who she is. Yeah, I think that Rooster Teeth are trying, and the RWBY specifically are trying to be coy about it, but I think it's super obvious who it's supposed to be. It's like, don't try to hide it. No one's going to believe anything. No one's going to believe that's just some random woman. No one's not going to make that connection. Why bother hiding it? They didn't hide who Raven was when she first appeared. I don't know. I just think it's silly that they hid her identity. Either way, so I assume since they're going to try to steal the airship in this episode, that we're probably going to see Cordo again. Or Caroline Cordovan, I think her full name was. We're probably going to see the guards and even more people working at the base. I just don't know how this is going to go. Now, Crow is against this. We know that for a fact. And even the others are showing doubts. They're saying, they're going along the lines of like, oh, no, this is not just illegal. This is definitely worse. This is really bad. I mean, I'd even say it's almost on the level of a declaration of war. With Atlas being locked down, stealing an airship to get into Atlas, I could say almost would be seen as a declaration of war against the kingdom. I would legitimately say that. Now, once Ironwood and all found out who it was, maybe he'd be a little lenient. But still, that's insane. Basically, the only way they can pull this off without having any trouble is if to make it a stealth kind of mission and make it so that they just steal the airship without anyone knowing. But I don't see how that's going to be possible. Which means that someone is going to find out. It's probably going to be a tricky thing. They're probably going to end up getting at least noticed and have to try and fight off the guards and everything. This is going to be insane. But I am really excited to see where this goes. So we're just going to get on with this. When the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts. And will contain spoilers to the episode. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. Okay, and we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Okay. So I was talking about how I believe that this episode and then next episode would focus on the ship and them stealing the ship and all of that. I thought this episode was going to start with them, stealing the ship. I thought it was going to start with, or not them stealing the ship, I thought it was going to start with them planning on how to do it. And then we would start to see it go into action, but then, like, Cordovan would do something to put it to a halt in the end. And, I mean, it kind of skipped the planning stage and went kind of into just them enacting the plan. And after that, Cordovan things did start to go bad with that. I did anticipate that. That was obvious. But something else happened that I didn't anticipate, and that was Adam's return. And I should have seen something like this happening. I should have seen something like Adam returning happening, because he was really only there at the beginning of this season and then kind of disappeared again. Other than being shown in, like, Yang's PTSD and stuff. But he's featured in the opening. And it seems like in a prominent role. Which, I mean, at the beginning of the series made me think that he was going to have a prominent role. But then I kind of honestly forgot about him. I haven't watched the opening as much lately in the past few weeks and stuff. I've been, like, skipping past it. And, I mean, I love the opening, but just to save on time and stuff with the past few episodes, like, a lot of episodes even, I've just been skipping past it to save on time and all. And I haven't watched it a lot. So it's like I've completely forgot mostly about Adam and thinking he was going to be such a big role. So I don't know, it didn't cross my mind that he was going to come in here. But when Blake was heading off on her own, my thought was like, oh, she's not going to run away again. No, she's fully on your side. She's fully on your side. She's not running away anymore. And it's like, that was my thoughts. My thoughts weren't on, oh, Adam is going to intercept her. Adam is going to attack her and stop her from being able to do her job because she went off alone. She's not basically guarded anymore. And yeah, Adam looks different. I think his hair is different. In fact, it definitely seems like his hair is different. He's wearing a different outfit. He has a blindfold on instead of his mask, which is slightly confusing. Because last time we saw him, he had come back to the White Fang base after the events of last volume. But he had his mask then. Yet, he got rid of his mask after the events at Haven. So I don't know what was going on there. but he still had his mask. And then, I guess, even though he killed all the people and got back to his throne and stuff, and I guess he didn't actually take back the remnants of the White Fang. I guess that he did just realize he basically had to run. And according to him, basically, he's just been waiting for Blake to be alone, and it's kind of implied that he's been stalking them. And I mean, obviously, specifically Blake. This is leading to something big, though, for sure. I think we're finally going to find out why Adam hates humanity so much, to the point where he has done all of this. I think we're going to have confirmation that Blake and him were together, even if it's just a small confirmation. Because, I mean, up to this point, we basically just assume. I mean, there's definitely a lot of huge context clues, but there's no confirmed statements or anything in the show that say they were a couple. But still, it's just like, I think it's going to reveal a lot in the next episode. Yang is going to come to Blake's rescue, of course, and it's going to reveal a lot. And now this could go one very big direction, but I'm not sure if the show's going to take it. I'm not sure if the RWBY are going to actually go there, because there's some complexity here. I'm a Bumblebee fan, and a lot of people are. I'd even go as far to say a good majority of the fandom ships Bumblebee. And there have been hints of this ship possibly having some semblance of possibility to it. There have been hints here and there throughout the series, very small hints, but hints. And the crew clearly know about it. They play around with it. They joke about it. I think they even messed around with the idea in RWBY Chibi. But apparently, from what I've heard and all, back when Monty was still alive and helming the show, he had stated that he saw the members of Team RWBY more as sisters. And because of that, a lot of people out there in the fandom use that basically as fuel to disprove the possibility of any of these ships actually happening. Between Bumblebee, White Rose, or any other combination of them. They see them more as sisters, and, I mean, obviously, two of them are, but you know what I mean. And the thing is, I'll be completely honest here, and I don't mean to sound, obviously, I don't mean to sound rude or disrespectful or anything. Monty's not at the helm anymore. Because of his unfortunate and untimely and horrible passing, he's not at the helm. And I don't know how far his plans for this series went. I don't know how far and how deep and how long he had things planned still. But there are other people running RWBY now, and changes can be made. It wouldn't even be disrespecting his legacy, in a way. Some people have said that, like, oh, what if they actually did go around that? It'd be disrespecting his legacy because he said he sees them as a sisterly bond. It's like, believe it or not, there have been couples who started out as just friends or having a very sibling-like relationship. So that's not even saying much, for one. And for two, it's just like, the showrunners honestly can take it in any direction. And I'm sure there's a lot of what's happened in the recent seasons that Monty didn't plan for. You think everything that happens was all in Monty's plans? No. And I'm sure it wasn't just small stuff. Yes, I'm sure that there was a lot he did plan for. I'm honestly very certain that Salem was a big plan from the beginning. Because, I mean, after all, we did hear her voice in the very first episode. Basically a conversation between her and Ozpin. So it's like, I'm very certain she was planned for right from the beginning. But that doesn't mean every big thing was. And it's almost guaranteed that there are big aspects of this show currently that Monty had nothing to do with. Having a ship confirmed at this point could be another. And at this point, with this show having already confirmed multiple LGBT characters, having main characters confirmed as a ship would be a big deal. Confirming Adam and Blake used to be a thing. It almost seems like it's going that way, especially because, again, we've had a lot of big hints before. And now we're kind of seeing Adam. He kind of brought it up here. He kind of brought up the idea in this episode. There's definitely some, once again, hints toward it. What if next episode that is brought up more and straight up confirmed, but then Blake, maybe when Yang is coming to help her, says something along the lines of that she loves Yang now or something like that. Now, again, this is honestly just hopefulness from a Bumblebee shipper. There's not enough evidence to really back this up right now. But this is clearly this is clearly moving into a direction where Yang and Blake are going to have to work on taking out Adam together, because they both have beef with him. Yes, Blake has much more, but to say that Yang shouldn't have a part in this fight is stupid. He took her arm. She has had PTSD because of him. She definitely has a reason to fight too. Yes, in the end, I think Blake should be the one to finish him. Whether that be to kill him, or to just deal the final blow that stops him for good. Whatever that final blow may be. In the end, I think that no matter if this ship comes to fruition or not, I think that they're definitely going to have Blake and Yang fighting together, and we're gonna I definitely think we're gonna find out why Adam is the way he is. Otherwise, we still have Maria and Weiss trying to get away from Cordovan, and the rest of the team is just trying to figure out what's going on, basically. I did love the moment with Crow and Ruby in this. Crow kind of freaking out, kind of panicking, getting upset and everything, and blaming himself because of his semblance and everything, which, after everything that he's gone through, and even though I do not condone or support his hatred of Ozpin right now, I do understand it, especially because of his semblance. And I get why he's like this, but I also like that Ruby is finally standing up to him. We saw it last episode, we saw it this episode. She's finally standing up to him and basically giving him the lowdown. It's like, get your act together. Stop being such a self-deprecating pissant and get your shit together already. You're an excellent huntsman. You're a pro who's very well viewed by others. Yes, you have a horrible semblance. Yes, it really sucks. You've gone through a lot of terrible stuff, but why does that mean give up? Why does that mean you stop trying? It's just like, come on, dude. Maria was fantastic. She's delightfully insane, and I love it. The cashews was an excellent touch. Great continuity. It's just hilarious. Cordovan's mech, it does look a little weird, but I'm not really too upset by that. it's not really that big of a deal. I don't know if they're going to end up having to defeat the mech, or if they're going to just like put it out of commission or just escape from it. That's one thing to note. So I think we only have 2 more episodes after this then. Let me check just to make sure. But I think there's only... Because I think last time I said there were 4 episodes total, including the one we were watching. So that means this time there would have been 3, which means there would be 2 left now. But I'm not sure. I'm not confident on that. So let me just check to be safe. Okay, no, I was completely wrong. There are 3 more episodes. So what I was thinking, there were 4 last time when I said that there were 4 episodes left after that. So yeah, there's 13 episodes total this volume. This one was called Stealing from the Elderly, and we have 3 more. So that's interesting to me. So the way I see this going is in next chapter, chapter 11, that's probably going to be, obviously, Blake, Yang, and Adam. With probably a little bit of the rest of the stuff going on. And then episode 12 is probably going to be where they get away. Where our team gets away and heads over to Atlas. And then episode 13 is probably going to be them getting to Atlas. That's really the only way I really see this going at this point. I mean, I could be entirely wrong, and I do have a lot of faith in the crew in the way they're going to handle this, but that's how I see this going. Episode 11 focusing on Blake and Yang and Adam. Episode 12 focusing on everybody finally like getting away from Cordovan and heading to Atlas. And then episode 13, the arrival in Atlas. And I'm hoping we also see General Ironwood by the end. Probably in episode 13. So yeah, it's just I can't wait to see where this volume ends. It's been one hell of a ride, and it sucks that it's almost over, but I'm excited. I'm very excited. So tell me your thoughts down in the comments below, and thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.
And though you've come through many obstacles,